All right, what's good, Domo? How you doing today, man?
All right, brother. I'm all right. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing well, man. I'm pretty stoked just to get to chat with you today, man. We just got to hang out last Sunday for Dennis's drum shed that he threw together. It was great catching up with you there, man, and always pleasure to hear you play when, in this kind of weird ass time we got going on. But yeah, man, it was cool that Dennis was able to throw together like a safe space for us to still be able to communicate through drumming and whatnot. So I had a
Still
great time
6 feet.
looking forward to the next one, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, bro, just kind of, starting off, I know quarantine's affected you in some major ways as far as like you've been in New York, working your ass off, studying at Manhattan School, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, man. So I just kind of want to put the ball in your court and just talk about how quarantine kind of has affected you, not only in like your day to day, but like what you're trying to get out of it, and just in general, like what it's made you think about and affected your relationship with drumming, man.
Man. Uh, First off, I wasn't supposed to be here actually right now. I was supposed to be back in New York, like you were
Right.
saying. I came back for our spring break the second week of March. Um, I was only supposed to be here for a few days, and then
Yeah.
they canceled school like the day before my flight for the next. They delayed it, so I was like, all right, I'm definitely not going back. And then all that happened, and now, I never went back. I still have a ton of clothes, like literally all my clothes are there. So I'm cycling through clothes. I'm washing like every 4 days, every 2 days. Um, it's real rough, and I'm not able to practice now because my arms have been. I want to ask you about that later, but my arms, like my forearms in here, have been kind of just aching a little bit. I'm not sure.
Heard, man. I'd love to talk more about that later for sure.
Yeah, bro. But as far as quarantine and how I've been feeling, I'm honestly feeling great. I mean, I do miss the drive and seeing everybody real hungry to get gigs and just working. That's heavy here, but also heavy, really heavy in New York too. And it's amazing seeing all of those cats, really just pushing forward. But now I
Right.
don't really see all that all the time here. But um, it's cool. We got self motivation. I think that's one thing that I have been learning a lot um, since this time being home. Just trying to work as hard as I can because I know. I mean, we were playing last Sunday. Y'all working. You know what I'm saying? Y'all working still, sounding great. So why should I not be working? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I feel that, and kind of can relate to that heavy, just kind of forced into this thing and have all this downtime. And while it's easy to put too much pressure on yourself to like be like, oh, I got to shed nonstop. It's also nice to not have all these distractions, or like not even distractions, but just like all the daily grind of what you need to do, and what, like, you can kind of take things as they flow to you, and all the whenever motivation comes, take advantage of it at this time for sure.
Yeah.
So have you been aside from your arm pain, which I'd like to get into in a second, but like, but prior to that swelling up on you, were you like doing like any daily shedding, or taking this time like to take a step away from drums, or a combination of the two, or
No, I was daily in the shed, bro, because I haven't, I still have a bunch of schoolwork, but when I was back at school, some days I wouldn't even go practice. Some days it would just be I'll just use my practice time to go write music or do whatever and I couldn't really physically get to the drums because I had schoolwork and all this.
right?
So this time has been just in the shed like every day. It was wonderful. But I think I do want to start moving it to heal myself, of course, but also just a mental break of drums and music. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, in your shoes, I don't want to speak for you, but you're surrounded by music like 100% of your life now, right? Because
Absolutely.
you you engulfed yourself into one of the top music schools in the world, right? So it's pretty amazing, you know, getting to that like platform, that opportunity to be there and to surround yourself with some of the greatest musicians and like you said, the younger generation of everyone trying to drive to get to that like level of excellence or whatever that means to them personally. But yeah, man, that must be a lot. And this opportunity is obviously, although you have like schoolwork and whatnot, probably a drastic shift. So I was kind of stoked to talk to you about how you feel about going from like 100 all the time to like to zero, and what that's meant for you to like take up the space. I guess mentally, like what has that done for you? Having that forced step back from your busy ass school load.
It's been great, actually. Been great. Getting up, not hearing noises all the time. You got the train running before you go to bed and when you wake up. So it's nice waking up to hear birds chirping around. Um, it's nice to be close to the ground. I'm on floor 15, so it's like really high up. It's nice to just be leveled out. I feel like I'm more balanced now than I was before.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. When you first started hearing about like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to go back to New York anytime soon, like, how did that affect you?
I was very happy, actually.
Yeah,
I was happy, man. I'm like, all right,
I can use the break. In other words. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, for sure, man.
No, I was
So, sorry, go ahead, bro.
Oh no, I was just saying I was very happy that I got to stay here for a little longer. I'm a little nervous though, because I might be traveling. I guess I wasn't supposed to tell anybody, but I'll tell anybody. I might. It's not for sure, but I might be traveling to study abroad next semester in Amsterdam.
Oh man, well that would be fucking dope if you get that chance. But yeah, obviously, probably not sure if that's 100 right now, huh?
That's for sure. But if I might try and change it to the second semester if that works out better.
Oh man, well, if you ever get the opportunity, man, I say fucking go all in on that. I've been to Amsterdam, and like getting to study there for a whole semester would be just a surreal experience. It's one of the prettiest cities in the whole world. Like so much love and appreciation for art. Like all of like Europe really gets down with like the artistic side of things more so than the US in general, but like Amsterdam is really hip to like some cool shit. So that would be so dope to get to engulf yourself in that culture and kind of see what the jazz scene, the music scene's like out there, man.
Not for real, bro.
That would be a trip in the best way. But
Sure.
yeah, man. So I guess we're here now. Your semester at New York's been canceled, man. Have you been like checking in with people in New York? Like obviously that's like kind of the unfortunately like the stomping grounds for who's been hit the hardest. You've been checking in on folks that are still there and seeing if everyone's like how everyone's doing these days.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my best friends, I call her my sister. Her name is Imani. She's actually a singer in my band, and she's still there. She's from Dallas, Texas. But yeah, I call her pretty much every day. I'm trying to annoy her on purpose, just because she's living on her own right now out there, and I like to check in with her because like you said, it's bad out there, man. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, and we feel it everywhere, but I can imagine being by yourself in New York just feels a different level of crazy right now. So that good on you, man. That's just wanted to see if how your people are doing out there, and obviously you have a lot of relationships out in New York now.
Yeah, I definitely try and check on as many people as I can. I definitely forget though. One of these sayings when I got back here, I was talking to one of my big brothers, and he was telling me, or I asked him why you don't ever hit me up when I'm in New York. He's like, man, I love you, but what did he say? I forgot what he said, but it was so funny. It was so funny. Out of sight, out of mind.
You're like, really, bro?
Man, but out of sight and out of mind. I was like, man, that's crazy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of been nice for me personally. I know this like slowdown has given me the opportunity to like reach out to a lot of people I'm not good about like checking in with on a weekly basis, in other words, and get into kind of touch base with like the ones closest to you at this time, I think is an important like avenue in how we're dealing with all this shit, right? So that's what's up, man. Um, I just want to ask you in general, man, like how are you liking like your experience out in New York? Like what has music school been like for you? I didn't go to music school personally. I'm not one of like the PSU guys. Um, I studied music at University of Portland, but I wasn't like engulfed in a music program. So
Mhm.
I'm curious not only like what your experience is like in music school, how you're enjoying that, like some of the pros and cons for you so far, and maybe like what is different than you might have expected, like when you were living in Portland, getting ready to go to New York, like some of that shit.
Mm. Um, First I'll start by saying I'm not a fan of New York at all.
You're not staying there forever then, man?
No, no, man. I do not like New York. But I will say I love what you can do there.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, yeah, it's I'm talking about not just music, but everything. You can get busy branching out in so many different ways. That's amazing. But as far as living there, I hate it. But pros and cons of being in a conservatory for me, I'll start with or actually I'll go in between. Man, a pro is that every day you know that is going to be just good music. You know you're going to be producing, you know you're going to be productive. There's no way you can't be. That for me was like every day. It's like, okay, I need to be as productive as possible.
Right.
I can be. I have all of the resources here: pianos, drum sets everywhere, musicians to work with to get help with anything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's all here. They're feeding it to me, so now I gotta use that as fuel. You know what I'm saying? So that was a very, very wonderful thing, being in school in New York. Um, a con is my school is super small. It's like smaller than the high school that I went to. I think there's like maybe 1,200 students that go to the school.
Man, I didn't realize it was that tiny. You know, obviously a super competitive program that makes sense.
Super small. And the dorms, I live in the dorms and they're connected to the school.
Right.
Literally, some days I don't even have to go outside if I don't want to.
Yeah.
No, man, that's another con I'd say is you know that's on myself though. But it's too easy to not go outside and you start feeling boxed in and same thing over and over again. Um,
As
Say again.
no, that was a mistake from my
Oh,
phone.
oh,
Just
sorry.
checking in on our video.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Go ahead, bro.
But yeah, that's just a hard one. But we got a nice park across the street, so I like to go hang out there sometimes and relieve stress or whatever.
Yeah, man, it kind of can feel like your own little quarantine then, and when you're in music school, then, huh? Like, just constantly having shit to do, work to get through, and practice rooms all there, right? So, I can imagine that creates a sense of cooped up, and especially in a program where you're seeing all the same faces every day, like you just said, right?
And like you were saying earlier, it's you never really get that time like we do now to just relax and not
Right,
worry about drums or music. You know
right.
what I mean? Like
Yeah,
being
no letting things come to you, right? Like it's like, oh, we gotta get through this shit. We got plenty to work on today.
Yep. And
Yeah.
scheduling, I learned scheduling. I learned about scheduling big. I schedule everything, but I hate schedules. I hate
Yeah.
following it.
Do you feel like these things getting you outside of your comfort zone, like being in a city that's like maybe not your style, like trying to trying to force like practice and like force a schedule on yourself and like being in surroundings that isn't always like your most ideal environment? Do you think that's been good for you and like to force you out of your bubble a bit and kind of change your perspective on like what also can be motivators for getting, growth in music?
Absolutely. Um, I personally like throwing myself out there like that. That's why I want to go to Amsterdam. Just dive
Yeah.
in the ocean. I mean, I don't know anybody there. You know
I
what
love that about you, bro. And that's
I
always been like that's always been Damo, man. We all know that, like seeing you come up super, super young in the city. Like, not that I knew you when you were a kid or anything, but like by the time you were already playing out in gigs, it was like, oh, this kid, like he wants this shit. And it was so fun to like always see you play like at the youngest age, because it was just so obvious that like you're just gonna make it happen, like no other way about it. Like, so that doesn't surprise me that now that you're getting other opportunities in different areas that you're just like, yeah, fucking let's go, you
Yeah.
know.
You never know what opportunities that you can get there.
Right.
When you jump into something, you
Saying, man,
never know what can happen.
I'm so glad that you take that approach in general, man, because the more people that can hear you play, the more people, you know, that can be around you, yeah, it's just all going to lead to good shit for you, bro.
Yeah, bro. Trying to get that together, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. So yeah, man, I'm happy to hear about kind of your experience, because I haven't really got the chance to talk to you about how music school's been treating you these days, man. And is this is the end of year one for you, or the end of year two would have been? That's what I thought. Yeah. So what's it like working with the drum instructors out there? You feel like you got a good relationship with the people helping you out on your instrument specifically?
Absolutely. There's two drum instructors, John Riley and Kendrick Scott. And I
I mean, a
had
lot of drummers know who those guys are, man, and that's what's crazy about the Manhattan School of Music, is putting two of the most legendary drum educators in the world in one space, and now you have a relationship with them, huh?
yeah, it's still crazy. And I study with Kendrick now, and he's a perfect teacher. You know what I'm saying? Because he'll tell you that you both. You know what I'm saying? He'll tell you, "Come on, man, what you doing?" You do it in a very nice way too. It's kind of like, how do you do that?
Yeah, how'd you just like lay me down so softly
So
there?
soft, crazy. But no, he's great for pushing you, and he's always coming up with new things. He gives us things that he sheds and things that he used to shed. You know, he's always helping, and he's always helping us build our own sound as well. So I'm really
Right.
thankful and respecting for that. And John Riley, I haven't had a lesson with him, but I go and talk to him all the time. He's like a drum doctor, man.
Mm.
He can tell you what you're doing wrong, why you're doing it wrong, and refer you something to go look at.
Right, yeah. He just seems like from everyone, like all the legendary drummers that have taken from John Riley, like he's one of the most sought after educators in the world, and been a mentor for, I don't know, countless legendary drummers. But like, yeah, that must be a trip, having access to him, and just like, yeah, man, like get me right, like whatever you say, I'll give it a shot.
Yep.
So what is since you've had more experience with Kendrick so far, what is like the some of the key takeaways, or maybe like one thing that you've really like latched onto that he's changed your approach or made you think about things in a slightly different way than before? If there's been like something that stands out a little bit. Obviously, every lesson's different.
Yep. Honestly, bro, like all jokes aside, everything he says is really, really powerful and spiritual.
Mm.
One thing that I really always take away is patience. He told me to just always be patient now, and things will come later. He always says, take care of the music and the music will take care of you.
Ooh,
Everybody's heard that
that's a
before, sure. But
that's a gem, man. That's a gem.
nah, really, man, it's incredible. But on patience, he just taught me, don't just play just to play. Like if you're gonna play something, respond. Don't just play, respond. And it's patient.
Oh man, that's deep, and hits home immediately when you say that message. Like everyone that's played music with other people knows exactly what you mean by that, but hearing it in a poignant way makes it stick that much more. And yeah, I guess what one thing I love about music, man, is you can take a thought like that and then like take that to the gig and like manifest that. That's like the brilliant part about what we do, is like you can take an emotion, a thought, and a bit of advice from someone that like you admire and respect, and just immediately like go practice that. You might not like kill it like the first day and like become this, you know, sensei figure and like mastering whatever that aspect was, but you can take that thought and immediately be like, all right, I'm just going to apply this tonight and like see how that goes.
And it's hard. It's hard, bro. It's really hard to actually be patient and really listen. It's hard. But you know, I mean, you do it all the time. You know, you do it, you play something and then you see everybody on the bandstand start smiling.
Mm.
No, that's you hit a drum and then somebody in the audience is like, do something. You know what I mean?
Hey.
They do, you know what I'm saying though? Like you were saying, emotion. Patience comes with that emotion.
No kidding,
We're
man.
talking now. I'll stop and then you know what I'm saying? You're patient. Just like you know what I mean? It's easy. It's just like that, but it's hard to do it in music.
Yeah, because it's all learned behavior as well. Like we need to hear these things to take them into account, but then it's all self practice, man. You got to be willing to put in the work. And yeah, thanks for sharing those tidbits from Kendrick, man, because that's some powerful little anecdotes that helps anyone listening. And like it's not like when you hear this shit from a legend, it's not like you weren't already thinking of it, but it's like the way they, I'm sure it's like the way he puts it to you makes it like so tangible and like so real and like gives you something to grasp onto immediately, right? Like, because like, of course, we all want to be patient. We all want to listen. We all want to be engaged in whatever we're playing with musically, but it really sets into place, I'm sure, coming from someone of that magnitude.
Yeah. And you know, we always say ask ourselves those questions. I'm speaking for myself, but I always say, how do I do this? Well, how do I do this? But how? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just do it. That's literally it. Just do it.
Yeah, just practice, apply that shit and do your best, right? It's always just like, yeah, you might not be great at this tonight, but like you can be in the near future if you just continue this practice and like make sure you don't like back shelf it on any given night, because then you're not engaged in whatever the music is. And that's like something I'm constantly trying my to get the most growth out of my playing is in that one area every night. Just try to be more and more engaged, more and more, like you said, patient, listen even harder, like all of these things. And like even if you've played this music 1,000 times, just try to add nuanced elements that come from just organically being present, right?
Yep.
That's what's up, man. So how, I mean, do you feel like your playing has matured like a ton in the last year and a half?
Oh man. I might I don't know. I think I have definitely heard, you know, I record anytime I can play, anytime I can record, I mean. Um and I always listen back and I do hear maturity for sure. But it's still just little things that just pisses me off that
Oh man.
should happen, bro. But it's forever. It's always gonna be like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. I got a library stacked up behind me of shit that pisses me off about my playing currently, bro. It's just like it's easy to pick at yourself, right? But
Oh, do you write it down? Do you write your stuff down?
do I write it down? No, I don't write it down, but that's powerful, man. I probably should and just
I
address it.
should too.
Like
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just
I
start
like
writing
that,
down
man.
all the things we don't like about our playing and try and fix it.
Oh yeah, I like that, man. Just put it out, actually like put the thought on paper so it becomes a little bit more, like I said, tangible. Like, oh, I'm gonna improve on this thing. Yeah, man. I definitely hear things in my playing where I'm like, ah, these are the things, these are the areas I want to work on. But yeah, that's what like makes you who you are, Domo. And that's all of those raw ingredients are part of your playing too, and all of your sounds. So yeah, it's good to want to be better and to want to strive for excellence and perfection and greatness, but like it's all a daily process, right? As you and I both know, and you can't get to that mountaintop until like you keep hiking, right? So that's the fun of what we do, I think, is like finding those areas, fine tuning them on a weekly basis, and then going out and saying, man, I'm liking the way this sounds more. It's not where I want it to be, but like this is definitely like more the vibe and the sound I'm trying to create.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me personally, that's how I try to not get like too hard on myself, because it's easy to do, man. I'm definitely some person that's hard on myself.
Me too. The
I'm just
toughest.
like, I listen back to playing, I'm like, man, I like 90% of that, but the other 10% was trash.
At least you got 90. I'm more in the 45 range of
Oh yeah,
these.
that was being generous too, man.
But you know, it's all in a work in progress. And something that Stefan Harris actually told me at school was music is life, you know? Just like we have good days and bad days in our
Mm,
daily life, we can go to a gig and it's like, well, today it just it's not happening. I can't
mm,
play what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? I think
yeah,
that's a big thing that I took from school as a pro as well. Um, just having Stefan Harris around. I mean, if you listen to his music, bro, everything is in there. I'm talking life, bro. I'm talking life. Everything about his life into one song is in there. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how not even just him, but the pros in general can do that. Kendrick
yeah.
Scott does wonderful too. I mean, it's amazing how they can just put. Man, I went to a Kendrick gig at the Standard, and he hit a floor. He hit his floor tom, and I started crying.
Oh, I love that, man. I
Bro,
love,
I
I
lost
love
it.
what you just said.
Bro, cause I don't understand how people can do that, bro. He
I
hit a floor
know.
tom in a perfect spot, and I was started tearing up, man.
I
It was
love.
amazing, bro.
That's moving, man. That's great. And I feel the same. Sometimes some really simple shit on a gig, like I'll actually start getting emotional and I'll be like, man, I can't believe that little aspect like moved me so much. But it was like you did it with so much intention. And like that's the thing about guys of that level and of that ability. Like they're able to put so much of themselves into the music on every given night and like really continue to give like all of themselves to it, so that like when every touch, every hit, like it's so sensitive, so like purposeful, like that I find like with guys of that level, to where like you hit a floor tom and you know you can start crying, man. That's really powerful statement.
It was crazy. I think that comes with time, though, too.
Yeah, man, that's just so much experience and maturity from these guys. But you know, I don't have to say it, man. You already know you're on your way to that path, man. And everyone that's seen you play knows it too.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Of course, bro. Like I said, you're just gonna manifest it no matter what. You got that ability, that gift, but also that um that emotional tie to music, man. Music is your life and it's that important to you. So you'll just continue to grow and grow, man.
Yeah, that's for sure. Definitely, like for sure.
So at this point, you don't really know when you're going back then, right? You just kind of playing it month to month by year.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of messed up, bro. It's yeah, I have no idea. Hopefully next school year. I mean next semester in the
Right.
but who knows?
Well, man, what I do hope happens is that venues are able to open up this summer in Portland, so that while you are here, I can see you play a ton or as
And
much
likewise, brother.
man, because all of us are getting restless, man. All of us miss playing out. And yeah, it'd be dope to take advantage of the fact that you're stuck here in Portland with us for a minute and get to see you play out, bro, because it's always a pleasure, even if it's just seeing you sit in for a tune on one of our homies' gigs or something.
Hmm.
Um, it's always fun, man. Everyone always enjoys hearing you sit down on the kit. But yeah, man. Are you you had mentioned a little bit about like putting bands together out there, and like what has it been like gigging for you? Obviously, like you're able to play a lot when you're in Portland, like people seek you out and want you to like hop on a gig while you're in town. Um what's it been like for you in your experience of getting to play out? I know music school takes up like a ton of your time, but have you been able to I guess put any like groups together or get calls and go out and play hits?
Man, yeah, it kind of happened so fast. Like the first year, last year, it just kind of I don't know how it happened. And I'm kind of just now like the last 2 months I've just kind of been able to just like, wow, I did that and I did that, and actually be able to take it in. But before I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, next, but
Mm.
now I've kind of been like, wow, my freshman year of college, before I got into college, I went on a European tour with NYO Jazz Band for 4 weeks. That was amazing. And then I got to school, and then one of my favorite piano players, even before I even got to college, his name was Isaiah J. Thompson. One of my favorite piano players, man. Um, and I got to do a recording session with him. It was just for it was kind of like a session, I'll say, not really a recording session, but I did that, and he called me to play in his quartet, and I was
God,
playing around with
bro.
him. Um, yeah, I was just playing around with him throughout what until around December before that break, and then I played. I got a call to play with Wynton Marsalis at this Brooks Brothers event, and that was crazy. Um,
Oof.
yeah, bro, it was nuts. And then I got back there the second semester last January. Um, and then I was chilling for a little bit. I was still playing gigs with Isaiah's band. Um, and then I flew and I got to play with Taylor Ikestey in
Damn, bro.
California. That
Ooh.
was that was crazy as well. I mean, this stuff was happening so fast. I went to Bern, Switzerland for a week, played with Anthony Hervey Sextet, some amazing players on that group. And then over the summer, I came back home and was just hanging out. Um, then this school year, um, I went to go play in Atlanta with my boy Kevin Oliver. He's like my brother. Then I went to school and I was kind of just chilling. I wasn't playing as many gigs because I was trying to relax. I wanted to worry about school more and focus, on practicing more. I mean, we got 4 years in college where I can just practice, 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 and then, you know, so I wasn't taking too many gigs. But I went to Switzerland again with Taylor Ikestey for a couple of nights and Joe Sanders, and we played a gig and then did a master class and around Thanksgiving time, and that was amazing. I played 2 or 3 more gigs with Wynton Marsalis Quintet early September.
That's so dope, man.
Bro, it was
Yeah.
happy.
These are heavy, heavy, big names, man. And so I hope, yeah. I mean, it's almost it must be hard to appreciate it while it's going on because you're just like,
Really,
let me get this gig and like let me like just be present during the gig. But just like at now looking back at those things, those are some obviously some major players, looking out and calling your name, man. So that must be a great motivator to keep pushing, huh?
absolutely. But as much as they're motivating, my band now that I got, we're called Sound Poets. My sister uh, that I was telling you about earlier, that's still in New York, Imani Williams. Then my piano player is actually in Jersey, I think. Um, his name is Matt Malinowski, and then my bass player, this man right here, man. Let me tell you about my bass player, man. My bass player has been one of my closest friends since maybe seventh grade.
Yeah.
But he lives in Seattle. But we did competitions against each other. We went to the Mel Brown Jazz Camp, and then Jazzport Townsend Camp, and now we're at school together. And he's just, I mean, he's one of the most amazing, down to earth, honest people I've ever met in my life. And every time I have an idea, I'll be quick to call him, like, bro, what do you think about this idea? You know what I mean? Because he'll
Right.
tell me if it sounds like trash, or he'll
Yeah.
tell me it's a great idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so this band we've been working. We're actually about to drop a song out on Monday, um, on Instagram and Facebook. So everybody that's listening to
Oh,
Sound Poets,
yeah. Put the plug in, man.
check us out. But yeah, they really push me a lot, and we're thinking about things outside of the box. I'm not going to be telling everybody yet, but just things outside of the box that we're trying to do as a band that's not even
All right.
music related. As you know, so we got a bunch of plans that we're trying to do. This is it's trying to set us back a little bit, this virus, but you know, I believe that everything happens for a reason. Um, I'm very sad about the people that's dying, people that are getting sick, and it's really rough for a lot of people. But I also think that this is a time for us as people to start realizing what we're doing, because
Yeah,
every day is always so fast. You know what I mean? We never can sit down and really just speculate and spectate everything that's going on. You know what I mean?
yeah, amen, man.
So I think this is a time for that, and I think we should just use it and be positive and try and uplift and heal people. You know what I mean? From this.
Absolutely, bro. I couldn't agree more. And yeah, it's hard when people have been obviously directly affected or impacted, and obviously our thoughts and are with those people that have been dramatically affected and lost loved ones and whatnot. But you're absolutely right. For those who are able to stay healthy and have a positive impact after this fact, you're right, man. That's exactly the mental approach and emotional approach we should all take from this experience, is trying to all better ourselves and think in terms of positivity instead of like, oh man, all the there's so many stressors in my life right now from this virus, but I'm just trying to like stay optimistic about all the good that's come from it.
Yeah, I mean, look, man. There's people. No matter how much stress we go through on a regular day, there's people out there with no legs. Like you can see people in New York every day by the
You know what I'm
train,
saying?
no legs. I have no toes. My foot got run over by a train when I was 8. You know what I'm saying? But we still got to keep pushing. No matter how much stress, I
Mhm.
always try and think of somebody that's more stressful than me at the moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm still able to make music. I'm still able to do something that I want to do. So how can I turn my negative energy to positive energy?
Yeah,
And
man,
somebody else.
that's inspirational, man, and good on you for being a role model in that sense. Even like, you got a lot of years ahead of you, bro, and that's already taking that approach to life is shows your maturity and how much like your relationship with, I think, music has impacted your perspective to like think that way.
I mean, music heals you, right? It heals me every day I
Absolutely,
listen to it.
man. No doubt. I mean, what we do is our therapy, and it's also what we love, and it's also what we want to get better at. It's all of those things. But yeah, man, just hearing all the good shit you've been up to, man, it drives all of us back home in Portland, man, because you're representing um
Absolutely.
you're representing
503.
you're representing the 503 really well, man. And wherever you go, if you come back home, if you go to Amsterdam, if you go to New Zealand 2 weeks after that, if you go to, wherever the fuck, Japan, then you're always going to be putting on for the town. That's for sure, man. And representing us in a strong light.
Absolutely.
It's cool to hear that you're that's pretty special hearing your experience so far, getting to put your own band together. I know what that feels like, just in terms of having people closest to you that you're able to create with and collaborate with. So that must be as uplifting as any of like the big gigs you've been working on, huh? Getting to create and put something together that like is as meaningful to you as anything else. And yeah, man, I mean, obviously, but there's something special about like playing with certain people, right? Like some people you just like vibe with on an extra magical frequency, like, and whatever they play, like it's just gonna work. Like there's just certain people that I play with that I feel that way about, and it's always amazing to create with them. So I'm sure you must feel similarly about that band. Like you said, the bass player from Seattle, that shit almost sounds like destiny to me. Like y'all ended up in the same music program, like being boys from little kids. So that shit must just feel like all this is manifested into just another avenue for you to, you know, have another special tie to music and creation, huh?
Also, even just in person, away from music, just being able to talk to somebody and have that kind of connection right off the bat. Me and the singer Imani, I never heard her sing in my life, and I met her and I was like, I want you to be in my band.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hey, it was kind of scary how it worked, but really though, it was kind of like an instant click. Like, yep, I need you in my band.
Yeah.
I never heard her sing before. We had barely a conversation, and I was like, I want you in my. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
that's the trip, man.
that is crazy.
Yeah, that's yeah, that just kind of shows, right? It's like there's a lot more to enjoying playing with someone else than just the music, even though that's such a major part of it, right? Like being on the bandstand with someone is obviously a key component, how you guys play together, how you feel music together. But I mean, that kind of just gets back to all of my favorite gigs are still with people I enjoy playing with the most. And it's like obviously hope to get more and more great calls from this touring band or that touring band, but it's like really the fun part about playing music is creating that relationship aside from music, and then having this like conversation together musically, um that you get to manifest together.
Yeah, and we were doing that on Sunday too over at the park, bro.
Yeah, man, there's some great energy, man. I feel like all of us have been extra like cooped up. So getting to release some of that the other day, I'm looking forward to the next one, man. Getting to
Mhm.
hear your ideas. And yeah, man, just every time I was playing right before you, so every time I was looking forward to just passing the torch when we were trading fours or whatever.
Mhm.
Shit was hella fun.
So
Oh,
fun,
what's Domo got to say off of this?
bro. It was so fun, bro. It was so fun, man. Tyrone was getting it in too, and Dennis. Man, that was a blast, bro.
Oh, it's too fun, man. That's what I say. I look forward to the next one that Dennis is curating, and I'm sure it'll be fire, whatever it is, man.
Absolutely. There was something that you were telling us actually, some stretches that you do,
Yeah,
for
man.
arms. Because like I was saying,
Yeah, so when did this start for you, Damo?
it's been a while, bro. It's been a while, but it goes on and off. Like it won't hurt for a while, and then it'll hurt again. So maybe I was practicing too much, but the last 2 days, bro, it's been like just ridiculous. Like I try and lay down and just have my arms straight.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if like your shit is like muscle or like tendonitis related, but man, it sounds yeah, like you're experiencing some inflammation or something. And I'd be happy to show you my whole gauntlet of stretches because as I've been pretty open about with people talking about like arm pain from drumming, what we do is so physical, and my experience has been like uh not to be dramatic about it, but pretty intense with like dealing with managing my pain over the years. So I could show you some for sure, but in person, obviously I could go a lot deeper and show you some of the stretches. And I don't even pretend to be an expert in these areas, but I have gone to see physical therapists and hand therapists for these things. So I'd be happy to at least show you some stuff that I manage myself because I'm a little extra about it, and I mean like I do all the stuff that my therapist showed me every single morning, like just
Hey,
as
I'm down. I ain't got nothing else to do.
I'm saying. So it's at least worth a shot and seeing if these things help. But essentially, my issue was that I had a lot of like nerve pain that was like, see how I'm all like hunched over right now talking to you, and I'm trying not to be, but I carry a lot of tension like up in my shoulders, my neck area from just like bad posture and years of playing drums with that, and like creating bad habits. So I kind of had to learn to just like sit upright and be a little bit more engaged with my posture. But then, yeah, she showed me a lot of exercises in terms of opening up my shoulders. And some of those are like nerve glides. Some of those are just like stretches you do on the door, like this one. And then, I go on a tabletop and then put my arms down and stretch this. But it's really to release all of the tension in here as like the base. Um, and then you can get a little bit more fine tuning in terms of stretching out your arms. And so I can show you some of the nerve glides she showed me, see if they help. I do some TheraBand like pull downs from the door, like just like typical shoulder kind of exercises that you would see someone like do at a gym, but like with like very light resistance. So a combination of those things, stretching in the morning, TheraBand stuff. And I'd be happy to just show you that different shit when we hang next. But yeah, anyone that ever says they're dealing with arm pain, I definitely want them to know at least what I know in case like one or two of the things help. Maybe some of this shit isn't like what you're dealing with. And like I said, mine's been mostly nerve related over the years, but yeah, when it comes to that shit, man, always take a step away from the kit. Like it's never a good idea when you have the option, right? Maybe you have a show that night and like your hands are tight, like you just got to play through a little bit of pain. But when you feel that inflammation come up in your arms, man, just like take it easy for a few days and try to get that shit better. I've heard a lot of people talk about like the cold to hot to cold for like 10 minutes at night has helped them with like if they have tendonitis or inflammation in their arms. But yeah, man, let's next time I'll just at least show you the stretches and see if those things help. But
Yeah, let's
yeah,
do two.
I'm also a firm believer in like not going ham right when you sit down at the kit. I know like I think
100.
some people are like truly gifted to like they can just already like sit down and but like I'm not one of those people. Like I need to kind of like I feel like an old man when I sit down at the kit. I need to like grease
Yeah.
the wheels a little bit. So I always just try to loosen up, say some of the phrasing that I like want to get to, but at a slower tempo and just be intentional about where I'm playing so that when I ramp it up, like I've already kind of established my body and like my mind's ready to play those ideas. I guess those are some of the things, not to get too much into a rabbit hole on that topic because I could talk endlessly because of my experience with pain. I actually got carpal tunnel release surgery right after college, and that shit was scary as fuck to me because I was like, am I ever going to be able to play drums after this? Like, so that was like a major pivot point, and that definitely didn't end all my pain. Like, you know, the doctor pretty much uh didn't mislead me, but like made it seem like this is like going to be like the biggest thing for you ever.
It
And
will.
so I deal with a lot of the same pain I had before that, but what it did do was like release all of the tendonitis tension that was blocked up here. And so essentially that regrows itself, and then you kind of get like to hit a refresh button. So with that being said, yeah, I've gone through a crazy gauntlet and have a lot of different experiences in trying to manage pain. And now I have like this whole routine that takes about a half hour every morning. And I do it just because it gives me some peace of mind and some confidence that like at least I did all that I could to get myself like honed in and sharpened so that I
Yeah,
can
it
at least
helped.
get confident going on the kit. And some days like I go down and it's like, oh, that kind of hurt more than it should have today. Or like, so I just kind of try to listen to my body. But yeah, man, my only advice to you, because I'm not an expert on this, but yeah, don't force yourself to play through pain ever. Like unless you're on a gig and need to get through it. Because I just think listening to your body is so key when it comes to like being so physically demanding on that shit like we are playing drums.
I agree.
But yeah, do you do warm ups and stuff like to when you sit down at the kit before you start like learning music or really like going tough shedding? Like do you do any like stuff to like kind of ease into your playing routine?
I stretch and then no.
And then no, yeah,
No, I just try and get to it. You're right though. I do need to come up with some type of routine. I can just yeah. I mean, sometimes before I start practicing, I'll just start with the rudimental ritual. But I mean, that's still kind of going in kind of quick. So finding a way to just warm up is probably a good idea.
yeah, and everyone's different, man. So I don't mean to tell you my way's right at all because that just works for me. But in terms of telling you how I manage my pain, those those two things are kind of critical for me. Is just like not going 0 to 100 right when I sit down at the kit, and also spending a little bit of time beforehand to stretch and do some of those strengthening exercises have helped a lot. And now I feel like way more confident than ever. Like there were times in high school, in college when this shit got so bad, I was like, fuck, if I wanted to practice 4 hours a day, I couldn't. And that was like really disheartening for me. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I've been through kind of like the worst of it where like I hit the drum and immediately it hurts. And that's a bad place to be when you're in love with this thing that like causes you pain. And then you overthink it and then everything you'd hit hurts.
Uh,
And so, yeah, just getting through that. I'd be happy to talk with you at length about this anytime, bro, and show you at least what I know. And that's been stuff shown for me of people that know what they're talking about. And like I said, I don't know your body, and you'd have to tell me different stuff. But if in terms of dealing with inflammation, man, you should always step back from that and just let that rest for a second.
That means I can't game anymore either. Then sad.
I don't know. I don't know how much this is fucking your arms up, bro. Maybe that's the issue.
Maybe that is the issue, bro. Man.
You said you're up late last night before we went live on this call
Yeah,
playing
bro.
live, huh?
Gaming is the thing, man. I've been practicing and gaming.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's good. Who knows? I don't know shit about this. Maybe this is good for your fingers and drum coordination. I don't know. I know Corey games a lot, so you can ask Corey what
Yeah,
it
man,
does with his
for
drum and if it
fun.
hurts his arms or helps his arms. I don't know, bro.
Right. Yeah, whatever. I'll probably just have to put both of them down for I want to stop for 2 weeks.
Yeah, man, and whatever you lose in terms of chops and shit, that'll all come right back. I get frustrated with that shit because I feel like I have to reteach myself all this progress I made. But you know, it's good to not be short-minded when it comes to managing your pain and getting it to a place where you can sustain that level of play, right? Mm-hmm. So that's all I try to do is not be too hard on myself when it comes to oh man, this week I'm kind of all flared up in my arms, so let's just take it easier. I'll learn the music I need to and then get through the gigs, but I don't need to be extra hard on myself, this week in particular.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, then I'll do that. Just relax a little bit.
Yeah, man, or just maybe just read your body when you sit down on the kit and say, is it ready to just try some shit easily? But yeah, man, I feel like coming up with a nice little 10-minute warm-up routine for you might be helpful. But like I said, I don't have all the answers or pretend to be the expert in this area, but those are just some things that help me.
Appreciate it. That's for sure.
Yeah, bro. So I guess in general, man, what's next for you, man? Obviously we don't have a crystal ball and when all this shit's over, but what do you hope to get back to as soon as you're able to start working and gigging, whether that's in Portland or when you head back to New York?
Man, I just want to heal people, inspire people, and motivate people. That's just what I'm eager to get back to.
That's cool, bro.
It's literally it. If you could put anything at the top right now, heal, inspire, and motivate is all I want to do.
Yeah, well, you do those three things very well, man. Anytime you play music, and talking to you is no different, man. So
thank you.
It's always great to pick your brain, bro, and kind of see how these different experiences are currently shaping you and kind of just changing your perspective and growing you in areas that you already were thinking about. So that's what's up, man. Are you currently working with your band right now to get things moving from a distance? Are you guys trading ideas off at all?
Yep. Yeah, I think we're gonna talk about it today. I think we're gonna try and do come out with an EP of 4 songs, one from each of us. And then drop it sometime soon, hopefully, just so people can know what we're doing. We're also trying to do something similar to what we're doing now. Get the band together, do Zoom calls with Sean Jones or Buster Williams or Stephon Harris, and just see how they're doing through this quarantine time. And then I might be trying to put out my own EP of a couple songs just so people can see what I've been doing, but it's not drum related. It's more producing, mixing and stuff,
I love that, man. How long have you been writing music? Is this something you were doing when you were back in high school, or is this something that you've really taken to while in music school and learning more about just learning instruments in general?
I'd say, yeah, more in school. Excuse me. This school year, really, me and my friend have tried to write every day, if not every other day, religiously. So we're always, I'll hit him up or he'll hit me up. You trying to write? All right, let's go do something. We'll try and figure out something. Some days it's like, all right, whatever, come back to it later. But some days it's like, wow, this is a cool tune. Let's write it down. Um, so I've gotten a lot better with writing, and I've been writing my own stuff lately and trying to figure out chords and stuff on my own. I still get help, but it's okay to get help.
Yeah, I'm the same, man. I feel like a little baby when it comes to like my knowledge of piano, which is my way of writing music. Now, and that's just because I hear like a riff or a melody in my head that I like can hear already drums behind. I'm like, oh, I want to get that idea out. So I'll like hum it into my voice memo, and then I'll
Oh
like
yeah.
go down to my keyboard and I'll be like, okay, I know it's in this key now, and then I can start to build chords around that knowledge with my limited ass information. But it's very cool when you have band and people that like are super knowledgeable about that. And I'm lucky to be surrounded with talented musicians that I want to bring this music to. And so they're able to help shift like, oh, that's a cool thing, but like this is a way doper voicing for that same chord, or, such and such. What is your process like for writing music? Because I love hearing about drummers that didn't come from that background like myself. Some drummers are incredibly dope at multi-instrumentalists, but I wasn't that person. So I'm now really really massaging those muscles to like try to get better at that each day. But what's your process been like, or what is your current process for like getting ideas down? Is it through a keyboard? Is it through something else?
Yeah, it's through a keyboard, but I also I have relative pitch. I wouldn't say perfect. Some of my friends say I have perfect, but I think I have relative. So I can come up. I'm really good with coming up with melodies. Like I can come up with a melody easy by a line of words or reading something. I can come up with a melody in that flow of how I read it. So that's how I kind of come up with melodies. I kind of think of how I felt about something, and then I come up with the melody on that. And then, like you said, I sing, bro. I have so many of voice memos of just me singing into my
Yeah.
phone. And then I go put it on the piano in Logic or something, or MuseScore is what I use. And then I just try out different chords that I think would fit. It takes me so long because I have the sound in my head of what I want it to sound like, and then I had to sit down and figure it out.
Yeah, I can relate so much. And my homies that I will ask about chords, like, or like when I bring like Matt Sazama a tune and he just like has all of this shit like in the back of his head. He's like, oh, I think you mean like this. I'm like, yeah, that's
It's like
exactly what
exactly.
I So
That's exactly it.
it's always just a trip of like being like, oh man, this is like actually you're a genius expert in this area, and all I have to do is like give you a feeling, or like, oh, I'm kind of hearing it like this, and you can just be like, I think you mean like this, and also we could try this, and how do
Mm-hmm.
you like this? And I'm like, damn, yep, you're a
Give you
wizard.
what you want and options.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying it's cool to talk to drummers that are also learning in these areas, man. It's inspiring because I think too many people write off people without like the notation or like the theory knowledge of like not being able to write as good a music or whatever. But I think, you know, your experience with music, you've heard so much shit, and like I know this is how I feel is like you have a lot to offer in terms of songwriting, and getting to grow in that area of how you like compose is something you should always strive to do, man, because I can't wait to hear what your original music sounds like. It's been fun for me in the last only 1 year of like trying to work on my own,
Mm.
um, and bring ideas to the table that like you can get players that are good enough to like make it sound the way you want it to. So that's a pretty sweet thing, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to share some stuff that we've been working on.
Sure. Do you guys have I guess like do you guys have electric instrumentation, like like um plug in electric guitar or bass or keys, or do you stick with like the acoustic instrumentation?
Um, it's a little bit of both. I love the acoustic sound, but being able to uh, have a different vibe with it. You hear a lot of just quartets that are, have an acoustic sound, but still keep it really acoustic, And what we're trying to do is play acoustically, but make it hopefully sound like it's electric. You know what I mean? Not in a bad way, but just still have it like an electric group.
Yeah, have that modern hip sound to it, man. And I know exactly what you mean by that. And it's like, I love that. I can't wait to hear what y'all are cooking.
Yeah, bro. I think it's gonna be dope. And my piano player, man, he's amazing. He really has a nice touch with like electric keyboards. I don't know what it is, but he can play the piano and it's a beautiful touch. And then he goes to the keyboard and the whole whatever. I don't know, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, some people. Yeah, I'm glad, man. I'm glad you got a crew down there that you're able to create with, right? And not just have to engulf yourself with the academic standpoint, but get a little bit of both, man. You've already played with world-class musicians on gig calls, and you're in your curriculum, and you're killing that shit, and you're in your private lessons. But then you also have this avenue that you get to create organically with like the people you're closest with. So, man, I think you're doing it. I think you're doing it right, and you're gonna fucking take over the world.
Well, that's. Thank you, thank you.
That's it's all love, man. It's all love.
Sure.
Yeah, bro. Is there anything else you want to talk about today before we send it off?
No, I want to thank you for having me on this, bro, and just keeping me company in these times of boredism.
Yeah.
And also just having a wonderful conversation with another drummer, a drum brother, I learned a lot during this conversation, and I'm gonna try some new things that I haven't never tried before. Just rather it's working out, working out with those stretches that you were just briefly showing me, and then just a lot of other stuff that we were talking about kind of opened my mind to some other stuff. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, man. I mean, goes both ways, man. I appreciate you, and yeah, I love you, man. And I'm so super stoked to see where everything on this music path takes you, bro. Because all of us here in Portland, admire you so much and where you come from, and just putting on for the town, but also just you got a dope future ahead of you, and can't wait to see where your path takes you, man. And of course, man, was easy to reach out to you, and definitely stoked to get this conversation down.
Yeah, bro. Thank you. Also, everybody that's listening, Sound Poets, that's my band, and we're releasing one of our videos and songs on Monday. Not sure of the time, but just keep it on the lookout. Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, if anyone's out there listening and doesn't already follow Domo, make sure you hit him up on Facebook and Instagram and follow him so that you can check out his project Sound Poets that's dropping some shit Monday.
Sure. Thank you, brother.
All right, my guy. Well, it's good, and I'll see you soon probably for the next drum ship.
All righty. Blessing.
All right, bro. Take care.
You as well.